and welcome to the first episode of FTC News for the 2014-2015 season. I'm Ursula.
And I'm Rachel, and we are two of the members of the First Tech Challenge team, number 6389, the Lazy Bots from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. The purpose of this webcast is to provide robotics teams around the world with news and information about the First Tech Challenge game and participating teams, as well as tips and tricks to help you build better robots.
First up on today's show, this year's FTC game was released on September 6th and is called Cascade Effect. Once again, the members of the first game design committee have managed to create a game that is both challenging to design for and fun to play. The basic idea is to release a set of plastic balls from a dispenser in the center of the field, pick them up from the field floor, and place them in various scoring goals on the field. While the scoring element this year is similar to wiffle balls used in the Hot Shot game from 2009-2010 FTC season, the GDC has changed everything else. No more shooting balls from an off-field goal. The LazyBots have been working hard on our design, and we can't wait to see what designs other teams dream up for their robots.
Each year, the first game design committee spends hundreds of hours designing, testing, and documenting the challenge before teams find out what it is. Most of the people involved are volunteers, and we appreciate everything they do. Sometimes, as with everything in life, mistakes can make it into the game demo video or the game manuals. That's why it's so important for teams to visit the official FTC game discussion boards on the web. This is where teams can ask any question they want about the game, materials that are allowed for the robot, and clarification of the rules. The URL for this resource is ftcforum.usfirst.org.
The mistake that has many teams confused this year has to do with the three starting positions of the center structure. Kyle spent some time earlier today on our practice field to get this figured out once and for all.
Okay, so there are three main problems with the center goal structure in the video. The first would be these two kickstands. They're in the wrong placement. They should always be on the right of the color. So let's just change that real quick. Okay, so our second problem is the orientation of the center goal. It will never be facing the same color ramp, so we could just change that real quick. I'm not can't see that. Okay, so our third problem is the rotation of the center goal. For example, the red will always either be facing the blue ramp, the blue rolly goals, or the red parking zone.
So there you have it. I hope this has helped clear up some of the confusion. Be sure to read the official FTC Field Setup Guide for more information.
Teams have already been utilizing the official FTC Q&A boards to get clarification on game and build rules for this year. One question from FTC Team 7078 was about the 5-ball limit. The GDC has clarified that once balls are scored in the rolling goals, they are not considered as being controlled and do not count towards the 5-ball limit. FTC Team number 7911 posted a question asking if the endgame center goal score measurement starts from the floor or from the base of the center goal tube. Once again, the confusion may have come from the game launch video that stated because the bottom of the goal starts at 90 centimeters, these points will add up fast. The GDC has ruled that all scoring tube calculations start from the bottom of the tube and not from the floor. Sorry teams, no bulldozer type designs that lift the rolling goals up to the ceiling for extra points.
In other news regarding this year's rules, teams now have more options for DC motors and servos. The GDC has approved the DC motor for use by FTC teams. The biggest difference between these new motors and the Tetrix DC motor teams have been using for years is the built-in shaft encoder. The Tetrix DC motor requires the purchase of an external add-on shaft encoder with a total cost of over $70. The new Andy Mark motor is significantly less at $25. In addition to the built-in encoder, the Andy Mark motor offers front mounting holes, soldered power wires, an all-steel gearbox, and a time to failure at stall of nearly 3 minutes. For any team that smoked a Tetrix DC motor, you know why this is important. In future FTC news, we will share our team's test results and opinion of this new motor, so stay tuned.
Being on an FTC team can be a lot more than just building a robot and competing on the field. FTC team number 2901, Purple Gears, from Cardinal Gibbons High School in Raleigh, North Carolina, US patent for a folding forklift design that the team used during the 2011-2012 FTC season. The design helped the team make it to the FTC World Championship in St. Louis that year. In addition to the forklift patent, which underwent 3 years of review before it was issued this August, the team has filed a second one for a custom treaded wheel and a third one for a claw mechanism that picks up rings. Great job, Purple Gears. Your hard work and determination has no doubt inspired many teams and future engineers around the world.
Most of the opportunities provided by the FIRST programs would not be possible without the generous support from corporations, businesses, and volunteers. Throughout this FTC season, our shows will be highlighting some of the key organizations and people that enable the FIRST visions and goals. Today, we would like to spotlight 2 companies that have really stepped up their support this year.
Instead of just building robots, FTC encourages teams to engineer robots. One way to do this is to use computer-aided design, or CAD, software to create a 3-dimensional model of your robot before you even build it. Parametric Technology Corporation, better known as PTC, has invested millions to create one of the world-leading CAD software packages. This package is used by real engineers every day all over the world to design everything from cars to airplanes to hydroelectric plants and roller coasters. Through partnership with FIRST, PTC allows all teams to use their CAD software and supporting online utilities for free. They even run training sessions online and in classrooms to teach students how to use the software to design their robot. As if this were enough, PTC has also provided many financial grants to teams which help fund robot builds and paid registration fees. On behalf of our team, which received a $500 grant from PTC this season, and all of FIRST, I would like to extend a huge thank you to PTC for their awesome support of FIRST, STEM education, and aspiring engineers.
The 2014-2015 FTC season is most likely going to see an explosion of 3D printed parts used on robots. The trend really began last year, with many teams designing parts for their robots as well as sharing their designs with other teams on the internet. The next FIRST supporters we'd like to tell you about today are EcoCycle 3D Systems and CocaCola. These 2 companies are teaming up to donate 1,500 new EcoCycle Cube 3D printers to FIRST teams. This is an incredibly generous donation and will allow many teams who don't have access to a 3D printer to explore new design options for their robots and learn about its groundbreaking technology that will surely shape our future for years to come.
On October 11th, 2014, our team, in conjunction with FTC Team 7190, the Green Girls, are hosting the 2014 Race for Robots 5K Fun Run event at Starling Lake Park in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. The event is designed to raise awareness for the importance of STEM education and raise money for local FTC teams as well as FIRST and high-tech kids. The event will run from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and will feature robotics demonstrations by local teams.
That's all we have for this episode. For all teams in Minnesota, make sure to visit the High Tech Kids website on October 3rd to sign up for the FTC qualifier tournaments. Until next time, I'm Ursula.
And I'm Rachel. Thank you so much for watching FTC News.